Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope everyone's had a good weekend. Hey, Jay. How are you today? Hey, I didn't try to rhyme that really. So, I was just finished finished supper. Haven't really been watching the markets. Oh, homework. Fun, fun. So, let's look at what the markets are doing. Let's look at the ES to find out. Looks like ES is unsure right now. It's like if we had started off with a 2.5 by 2, we would have got a profit there. And back up 2.5 by 2, which I would only do at this time of day. Would also have gotten profit. I actually may have found something that works. At least it worked today on ES when I tested it. 4 by 2 worked today almost perfectly. I had like would have had like 3 losses all day if I had been making all these trades. So it might have actually found something on ES that worked. ES hit all-time highs again today. It's let's look at that. Haven't moved my lines. See, yesterday, the trading day that ended this afternoon. I believe that was the low. No, it wasn't the low. The low happened early in the day. There we go. Oh, that's the upper line anyway. But yeah, the old highs I believe were from Friday at uh, made it as high as 50, 51, I believe. Yeah, 45, 51, 50. Today we got up to 45.66 right before the close. So we hit all-time highs just before close today. Well, it just ran up and most of the morning to all-time highs. We still ended up with a 44-point range, which is awesome. Nasdaq also was running today. You can see most of the afternoon. Not sure what exactly happened here. This is right after, well, right after 3 o'clock, so it's basically closed for those doing evaluations. But I think this was something to do with Facebook earnings or Facebook something or another on the stock side of the things. I heard Tesla had a good day today. So our range today on the Nasdaq was about 152 points. Let's see, my favorite copper. Copper, I missed a good signal here while I was eating. Right there. And it looks like that would have went to the profit target. If you notice, I'm not sure if there's Tesla. I was talking about stocks and not futures there. Remember the Nasdaq and the S&P and all that. They're indices of the most popular traded stocks or the biggest stocks on Nasdaq and all that. So performance by the major players in the stock market can help drive the futures prices. So it's really good to be paying attention if you're going to be playing NQ and ES to what's going on in the overall stock market when the regular market's open. So like I saw early this morning at like 9 o'clock, or right after open, right after 9:30 Eastern, that Tesla had gone up $40 a share, nearing $1,000 a share. It's at a record high for the company, and that's probably one of the things that helped fuel Nasdaq today on the futures market. So there's a signal on gold. Short signal, high uptrend, ignoring that. Since open, we've had several signals. You notice that I am working now for 1 minute chart. I really like the 1 minute chart now. It's a little hard to keep up, and what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to rearrange my charts so that, here, the way I have my charts normally, I have four. I have, the 5 minute, the 1 minute, or a 5 minute and 2 minute, and two different things. And I'm probably going to do like just two screens of 1 minute charts, four assets in each one, so I can quickly jump over when there's a signal and see what it is. I think that might be the easiest way to do this. So Kappa, I'm going to look at copper's highs and lows. For today, copper had an inside day, which means its price stayed totally inside the range of last trading day on Friday. Its range today was a lot less than what it has been in the last 2 weeks. It's only a 6 point range. It's not really a point. But more like 7. So 20 ticks is one. So only about 140 ticks. But again, what's interesting, like I said, I've gone down to a 1 minute chart or trying to play off a 1 minute chart. And you can see here, because this trade never actually finished. This lasted forever. Started here a little after 12. This would have been the close right at 3. And I mean, it would have finished in profit if I closed it out there by, like 7 ticks. But it just ranged most of the day. Now here, this could have been a win or a loss depending on which signal I followed. But before that, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 winners in a row. Then 1, 5 and 1, 6 and 1, 7, 1, 7, 2, 8, 2, 8, 3, 9, 3, 10, 3, 11, 3, 11, 4. We won't count that mess. We'll count that as a loss. 8, 4, 8, 5, 9, 5, 10, 5, 11, 5, 12, 5, 12, 6, 13, 6. Charts look a lot longer when you're doing 1 minute. So 13 wins, 6 losses. So that's more than 2 to 1. So natural gas giving a signal. Still haven't got, even though natural gas is also giving me, oh yeah, look at this trade, natural gas. I didn't take, these are just the trades I got up. This would have started at 3:18 Eastern and ran until 6:20, 7:26. So over 4 hours if I had been in that trade before it finally went to profit. But I don't trade natural gas yet on Gauntlet, but it's getting closer to. I'm thinking I need to. You see, right now though, the volume, this time of day, the volume is really not there. Although, if you had gotten filled on this buy signal, or any of these buy signals, and you see the problem with when you have no volume, you get rapid fire buys and sells. So you got to just pick your poison. I would go with the buy. Any of these buys would work, I believe, because we're above the 200 EMA. So let's put it back here. Let's see. I would have never got in on the first buy, honestly, and that one would have stopped us out. I would probably never trade natural gas until 6 my time, so 7 p.m. Eastern. So that would be this. That would actually not be. It would actually be. Wow, this is actually skipping how little volume there is. We went from 1806 to 1816. So when you have a buy signal here, if you're waiting to get back in, waiting until it crossed back above The SMA line would be good. So getting in any one of these candles here, this one right here, and that would have went through our profit goal. Now, if you're on a sim account, it's a lot easier to get filled based on when you have low volume. So sim account, this is where a sim account would have it. We probably would have got filled, but on a live account, there might have been some pretty decent slippage. But there's enough here. This move actually went, so it looks like about 70 ticks so far. So slippage wouldn't have mattered too much. So we did not get in on that buy signal. Could have since that's sim, but there's an see this is the problem with lack of volume even at this time of day. Within the last 14 minutes, we've gotten 3 signals, so it can be choppy this time of day. So let's look at. Oh yeah, we didn't really look at the range for natural gas yet. I've heard good things about Sierra charts. I have not obviously tried it yet, but I've heard good things. I believe Jay. I don't understand. I know you're signed up on the or you're a member of the Earn to Trade Discord, but I've never seen you talk there. And I would encourage you to do that because there's a lot of good information on there, and I know there's a couple people there that really like Sierra charts, and you might actually get some feedback and how to help get set up. I don't know. I like NinjaTrader, but it just seems like it's really problematic with a lot of its extra features. It's good for it. I like its um, the whole order entry. Being able to enter the orders the way they are, but and with the stop loss and profit targets, the order management basically. But it just seems like everything, and the more advanced stuff seems buggy. So our range today on natural gas is actually pretty big. Holy crap. Wow, really? You can tell I wasn't paying attention here, even though I actually charted it out. This went up like $5,000 today. Is that right? No, it's like $6,000 today. Wow. Interesting. Okay. That was nice to pay attention to. Crude oil, crude dog. Let's see. There's our lines. Crude. Crude hit a high it has not seen in 7 years today, but I've been saying that almost every day. We hit a high of 85.41, and it's not been that high since sometime in the year 2014. It did cool off in the afternoon down to 83.39, so we had about a 2 point range. So basically, when it dropped here at this double top and down, this dropped $2,000 in 6 hours or so. Okay, we have a signal on gold. Gold's trying to pull back. I see your name in there, so I was like, why doesn't he ever talk in there? So what haven't we looked at yet? Bonds, James Bonds. I make that joke every stream. It's ridiculous. Bonds came down here. Basically, it was a slow grind down until 9 a.m. this morning Eastern, and then boom up. It's actually its high of the day ended up being in the opening candle. A range of about 2 points. You can see today on the most things it was a lower range day compared to what we've been seeing. I did gold, I did crude, I did gold, right? No, I didn't do gold. Gold. Our high was here. Our low. Beep, 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 beep. Up, 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 up. Low is here. So let's see, that's about a 18-point range. Not bad. See that kappa is headed up, up, up. So it's been a nice trade that I missed. There's been two nice trades. It's still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer Copper. Let's see, what does the ES have to say? Well, it doesn't have anything to say because I'm squishing it with the NASDAQ. Let's see. Ooh, big pullback on the ES. And by big, I mean a point. Down to the SMA line on the 1 minute. Oh, but we made a new high again. We had 45.68 and 3/4, which is a new all-time high. Yeah, that doesn't sound good, Jay. I'm glad you're trying to figure all that out. It would have driven me insane by now. Completely and utterly insane. Okay, so NQ and ES both have red. We did get to sell on the what's I, I I'm not going to take this trade only because we have a strong trend uptrending SMA line here. So I don't think this is going to give us any type of actual breakthrough sell signal. Probably prove me wrong. So we're already down 1 point. No, 66 down to 65. About 1 point on the ES. Crude. Now, working off the 1 minute chart, you do get a lot of signals. Crude's pulling us about the same move here. So we'll wait to see whether or not it actually continues breaking down. So I left the daily chart up on the natural gas. So let's look at to see whether or not, and see, here's the pullback now off the SMA line. We did break on the ES. We did not break on the Nasdaq, but I still don't think we're gonna get a sustained 4 points out of this. Is what I look for on the ES. Natural gas. Now, natural gas, this one might actually be cooling off. You see how the SMA line, we're still trending up, but it's starting to flatten. We're going to mark it off and then take the trade. Obviously, I didn't see, because actually the sell signal fired here, and I was saying about how quickly the sell signals are firing. So let's just say we had waited and waited for the break of the SMA line. I still wouldn't have taken the trade, honestly, because we still have very uptrending Bollinger Bands. So I would have still doubted it. So we'll see. Normally I would go for 40 ticks with a 20 tick stop. We'll see what it does. Copper's still going up. I'm upset that I missed that signal. You can see on the 5-minute chart it sent the signal back here at 7:25 Eastern. On the 1-minute chart, this is why I like the lower time frames. Here you got this call at 8:20 my time. It's 6:25, and here you got it at 17. So yeah, that's only 8 minutes, but that 8 minutes, if you're trying to stay in this trade for a long trend, that 8 minutes, was an extra $100 at least. Now, the other thing I was thinking about doing, and I haven't done it yet though, is if I get in on the 1 minute chart and it's still looking good, and it fires this signal then on the 5-minute chart, that might be a sign to enter with a second contract, and then either I don't know if follow that the profit, try and get another 100 ticks, 100 yeah, I'm sorry, 20 ticks out of that one as well, or if you just have the same profit target. Is that a fancy way of saying moon? That's a good point. Okay, ooh, big buy signals now on the Nasdaq and the S&P. Wow, where's this going all of a sudden? Uh, did you call that? Am I running behind here? Or did you just call this move? Yeah. So now we have this buy signal. I probably should have jumped in. I was kind of surprised by it. Number one, number two, we did break a Bollinger Band, but I think it's going to ride up. We didn't break the Bollinger Band on the S&P. So yep, let's. This is why I need everything in one or two screens. It's so hard to react to these moves. And some of the moves don't really matter. Really, on copper, if you get in a minute or two late on copper, or gold, or anything, it's probably not going to matter. But the ES, it actually could, because so many times the ES just goes only, barely to the profit target. I can't even get the profit target on the screen. There we go. Loss. If you look back here, let's go back in time. Right here on even on this trade, if I would got in here on the sell signal, going for two, we only went for 10 ticks here because it was even before 8 o'clock Eastern, you barely have volume. So that just got there, barely. Back here, this one, look at this one. This is exactly 4 points and what that it hit. So if I would have got in 1 minute later, we wouldn't have hit that profit target. Same here. Look at this. Got in here, got four, and then it went up. This one would we would have been okay on. And of course, this one would have been awesome either way. I wonder what this line's for. This isn't a line I drew today, so it goes away. That one would be okay. That would have been great. Here's another one that just barely got the 4 points and done. Did you catch that move, Jay? Give me 1 second. I'm getting somebody a link to the stream. Ah, give me a minute. I'm getting someone a link to the stream. Copy video URL. No. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Huh. It's a slow night all the time, and I didn't even get any signals. Oh, there we go. Crude oil. Crude dog. I gotta stop that. That's ridiculous. Okay. Well, right now our natural gas trade would be 13 ticks. So this crude trade ended up, this signal looks like it might have been a good signal, even though it did pull back. So let's see if it would have pulled back enough to knock us out. I don't think it would have. Nope, not even close. And we would be up only 3 ticks at this point, so it's not like it's a huge miss. 20 tick. Oops. Try that. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. You're still holding. How much are you up? It's still going up, so I guess, how many ticks are you up, Jay? Let's chart out the Nasdaq since I really haven't been paying attention since the open. That's a Nasdaq really made a huge drop right at the open. That's a pretty significant drop there. Did I not chart? Oh, that was after close. ETT close anyway. So if I charted out this buy here on Nasdaq, honestly, this is where I need to get better at not shooting for the generic targets. Even though it would have worked, but this would have been better to have a smaller stop loss and profit. But this would have got our 15 points right here. And then this buy signal. Let's see what it ends up doing here. Already be up like 5 points. Be $100. That'd be a nice snipe. Scalp. I'm not sure why I call it a snipe. I've been doing that. So crude is calling our name again. Nope, see? Crude's now trying to bounce back. We should see if you can see the red SMA line. It has started curling back down significantly. So it's pulled back basically to the SMA line, enough to send a buy signal, but one that could be ignored, I believe, as we immediately fell backwards. Soybean and soybean oil and corn open flat. Okay, we're starting to see a pullback now here on copper. Copper's pulled back to the SMA line here on the 1 minute. It's just kind of sideways since it ran up, and it ran up nicely here from this buy signal here at 452.35. It ran up as high as 455.45, so that was a $750 run in a matter of 50 minutes. Hello, how are you doing, John Estow? You say good morning. So you must be coming from Europe, I'm gonna guess. You might have told me that before. I know you've been here before, but I don't kind of remember. So gold, you can see here. So this gold trade would have ended up stopping us out. And this is here where I have an issue. First of all, maybe during these times is I should be going for a smaller profit because this hasn't even stopped us out yet. So maybe, but if I had gone for, 1 or 10 ticks and buy 7 ticks, that would have been a good win. Right now, I know my normal stop is at 12 ticks. So even though we've seen this big downtrend that we could have got in, if we go for one here and then one here, this would have been two good trades. Maybe, I don't think this would have been one though. 1809 down to, no, that wouldn't have been. But yeah, we're seeing a little bit lesser volume here in the evening, even though we are already past 8 Eastern, which is when volume usually picks up. Oh, okay, that's right. I do remember that now. So what time do you normally trade, John? Are you actively trading? What time do you what are your normal times for trading? See the bonds? Don't worry, I'm not going to do the James Bond joke again. See the bonds here. We'll send the sell signal. There's hardly any volume. You guys just buy these dashes. But if we could have got filled there, we would have got our 7 ticks that I shoot for. Even if we got filled 1 or 2 ticks off, we still would have got it. And on the bonds, I'm still running a 2 minute chart. I had not gone down to a 1 minute chart because the 1 minute chart, when there's no volume, I mean, you're seeing more dashes than anything. Excuse me. Hey, Rich, how you doing? How was your weekend? How's your trading today? Copper's going sideways now. Gold's still going down, but looks like it might be trying to peak back up. Let's move on crude. Let's see here. Let's mark that off. Think this would have got us our 20 ticks. Ooh, gold just did something. See what gold just did? What gold just did? Yeah, good English. What gold just did. Whatever I'm trying to say. Gold, big spike up and then right back down off the SMA line. Did you not take a trade because you just weren't trading or you just didn't see anything you liked? Right, that's right. We're still in this trade. I didn't take any trades today. I'm not sure why. I got well. No, I'm wrong. I did take a trade today. I lost. I took a stop out on crude oil. It went up $100, 10 ticks, and then immediately like flushed down just suddenly out of the blue and stopped me out for 120 bucks. Hey, good night, Jay. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Don't be having nightmares about Ninja Trader. Wow, thank you. That really means a lot. I really appreciate you saying that. See the NQ off this buy signal is now sideways. Be interested to see what it does. You're seeing that the SMA line's coming up to meet it. This is on the 1 minute. And on the 5, it still looks like it's uptrending. It's above yesterday's highs. The ES is still above yesterday's highs as well. The bonds. Let's see what the bonds have to say. How did I get this far back on the bonds? I'm on the wrong. No, I'm not sure why I have two bond charts up. Yeah, buy signal, but we're not gonna do anything until it breaks that SMA. You know, I did not stream. I used to be doing streaming on Sundays, and I haven't the last 2 weeks. I did on Mondays instead. It seems like Sunday evenings are getting better action than Monday evenings are. But I felt like I was. It seemed like Sundays barely anyone tuned in, and last night I really didn't want to go up against the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. So, but like right now we're seeing a little bit of it's pretty slow action. Hopefully things will heat up at 9 Eastern, and I believe another Asian market comes online. Now see this buy signal here. I'm kind of liking this. We've broken the SMA. The SMA is still downtrending, but it's starting to flatten out. Well, signal on copper. This means a down signal, and we do have a down signal. Uh, let's jump into this. This might not be the best idea, but let's do it. Copper chart has plenty of room to roam on the 5 minute. So we're gonna jump in. Immediately, I should limit ordered in, but so we're immediately down one tick, 3 ticks. So we'll see how this goes. So this is our first live trade of the evening. So right now we're down 4 ticks, and I just lost the chart. There we go. So we'll see how this goes. Still swear that the trading gods are against me in that, I see all these good moves and I always pick the trades that don't work. But we'll see how it goes. I just need to be taking more trades. I keep telling myself that. See that if we blow up the 1 minute chart here, the only thing that concerns me about this is we're kind of on a almost parallel. Not parallel. That's not the word I'm looking for. Horizontal. That's the word I'm looking for. Horizontal SMA line. So, but now it seems to be moving downwards as the price action is. We're back to only one tick down on our trade here. We'll look to see whether or not we have any. Was there any major support or resistance here? And now it's back up to being 5 ticks down. See, this looks like it might go sideways. Looking at the 5 minute chart, I still do look at the 5 minute for some reference here. And I mean, you see, we're still downtrending from this top. This is one place, if I looked here, this could have been if I looked on the 5 minute, if I wasn't just using signals or whatnot, right here off to this red candle here being a good place to get into a trade if you weren't using this indicator or whatnot and you were trying to just figure out where to get in, because this probably, what I'm hoping here, like I said, I'm using the 1 minute, but what I'm hoping here is this pulls back to the SMA line on the 5 minute, which is, the SMA is sitting at 53.4, 453.40. Right now we're at 454.40. So that there's more than enough for my profit target of 20 ticks. So that's what I'm hoping for. Right now we're down 5 ticks on this trade. Not a lot of signals firing. When I put alerts in for, I think six assets to fire on 1 minute charts on the 1 minute chart on the signals. Let me look. Gold, Russell, ES, CL, NG, HG, NQ. So it's 1, 2, 3, 7. So seven assets that fire on the 1 minute chart. So and that can get pretty hectic. You start seeing some backing up at times. So right now, since we're not seeing any, it shows that we're at a very calm period in the market. We're back to only being one tick down now. So hopefully we'll keep grinding down. The SMA line's moving up because of this price action. Remember, a simple moving average is just averaging the the closing price of the last 20 candles, or whatever you set it at. This is 20 periods. So as it knocks off these candles here, so the last 20 candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So each time a new candle forms, it knocks out one of these. So the SMA line's, now going more toward this uptrend, so it can meet the price action without the price action coming down too much more. So, and if we see that happening, but if we still see the price coming down and then at median, we could end this trade early if and just take what we can get. Right now, just sitting at 3 ticks down. We can grab a Dom just for giggles. We see that on the Dom, here's our price. The yellow is the price we're at right now, and we can go. It'll just show us where we got in at. There's not a lot of orders stacked on the ask, so that actually means this could end up going up rather quickly. If someone would mark it in for 10 contracts right now, this would go up 3 ticks, and that'd be 3 ticks against us. Whereas we're seeing here on the Dom, we do have some orders stacked on the bid, which means it needs right now to sell 8 contracts instead of go down these to this level. They don't need to. There's only one at this level at the price we're at right now, where we bought in at, and then we need 13, another 13 before we get one more tick into our direction. So right now, based on the Dom read, this is not looking that hot, honestly. But we shall see. We also need to watch the time. It's 8:30. The 9 o'clock hour can sometimes do weird things with copper. We have some sort of signal back behind us here, so let's move the Dom back out of the way. Let's mark this always on top. Keep an eye on it down here in the corner, and we'll check crude, ES, and Russell. Well, ES has had a pullback, tight pullback though. Bands have certainly tightened, so nothing we want to do there. Crude oil. I never finished charting that out, but that would have been a nice win. We're still on this downtrend on crude, but it hasn't done much. It's up and down, up and down, up and down as it's grinding slowly down. Back on the right direction though. Still down this 1 tick. Nothing's really moving much right now. We see here, with this indicator I'm using, that I used to call the bot, that I used to pay for, but I found that it was free. That still frustrates me. You can see here, this green line is the ATR line, basically. And if this breaks through here, that would send a sell signal in this 5 minute. That's why you saw the sell. You can see here, if I blow this up some, the green line. Yeah, I didn't really. It's harder to see. With this green line here, let's see if I can make that easier to see. Style, green line. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, there we go. Boulder line there. I'm gonna get the words out the way. So you see this green line. Once it passes this green line on the downside, is how it sent is when it sends the sell signal. So this ATR line. Now some people also use the ATR. You see the red line here as their stop loss. So once this fire, once I got in here, if I mean this, I could have set this as my stop loss, and I'm not sure what. Let me see. I'm actually has that in the way of my. This chart's in my way. Right there, that the stop loss was about 454.75. It's actually less than what my actual stop loss is. So, but yeah, that's another way, like in this uptrend, show you how this works too. Put that there. Let's make our chart big. You see this in this uptrend, how the ATR line, this green ATR line followed, but it never came down to penetrate until here. So some people would have used this as a trailing stop. Now, and there's one issue with this in my opinion. This got all the way up to 455.45. Then, you know, this line when it finally was breached was 454.45. So you would have gave back $250, which seems like a lot because you could tell it was downtrending. So maybe half the ATR at some spots, especially after a big move upwards, or something like that. If you're going to do that, because I mean does work well. I haven't done dynamic um, stop losses or trailing stops. And now see what just happened. Is we're now down 3 ticks again, and someone marketed in and wiped out a couple of these orders on the DOM. Now we do have a little bit of a wall up here of 11 orders on two different tick levels. So that gives a little bit, and our buy side, our bid side, I'm sorry, has thinned out some. So hopefully we'll get some sellers coming in here that'll hit the bid and drive this down a little bit. So right now we're still sitting down 4 ticks. We have some sort of signal here. We got the ES. ES is China also, but see this tight range on the ES. Technically, we would have got in this ES trade here if we had gotten in. And it went as far as, oh wait, this is NQ. I'm sorry, not ES. NQ. Would have went up 7, almost 8 points, but right now we're just in this tight range. But we do have a double top with a slightly lower low. So this kind of indicates we might be heading downward. We came across here. It tried to make it here. Let's get ourselves a horizontal ray. So it tried to get up here. This is where this move stopped. And then it tried again here and rejected. And it just tried again here and rejected. So a lot of times this is a triple rejection, but really this right here is really a double rejection, double top. And a lot of times that's a great signal that the trend's now reversing. Okay, now copper just blew through some of those sellers. I'm sorry, some of those some of the bid, some of the first day of my new mouth through some of the bid, and we're now it blew through a lot of the bid. We are now 6 ticks up, no 7 ticks up on this trade, 87.50. So let's go look at our charts here, as it looks like the NQ is going to pull back. Maybe we'll watch that, but let's look at our chart. Here's our 1 minute. You can see the downtrend continuing here. We're in the bands, but I don't really worry too much about the bands on the 1 minute chart. Now, here's what the one thing I am worried about. We did get the sell signal on the 5 minute chart, but we are basically right at the SMA line. So this could be the resistance point. Now, this SMA, it is uptrending. It's not a strong uptrend, but it is uptrending. So if we see this start to bounce, we'll try to get out for at least a couple ticks. And I'll close the trade. Watching the DOM too. I don't really watch DOMs much. I have not really gotten a good feel for it. But I do notice that we have more orders on the ask than we do on the bid. Most of the way up. So we shall see. The SMA line, and it's kind of weird how this all works. Oops, there we go. That's a big bounce. So we're now only up 2 ticks. We're now down a tick. So I didn't even have a chance to close that out. That's a huge bounce off the SMA. Let's look at the 1 minute chart. It's a move upward. We are really, though, tight on the bands on the 1 minute. I'm going to give this a little bit of room to see if it comes back down. Just because we have a slight downtrend on the 1 minute. I'm not. Hello? Okay, there we are. I have no idea what just happened there, but it showed me as offline for a second. Seems to be back now. So sorry about that. Still, we're now down 5 ticks on this trade again. We've been here before. Oh, and that quickly, we're back to just 1 tick down. So we're kind of going sideways here. Check our other charts. See the Russell. Russell's been in an uptrend basically, since we started. What's gold doing? So gold, let's see something. So let's say we had gone for just a 1 tick, that 1 point of profit on gold, and I won't mark that as a win because it wasn't. But let's say we had. Well, what's crude doing? Too many things in my way. Crude's uptrending and seem to have gotten a late signal on that. So we'll see what it does. As you can see, this has been this would have been a short that we had gotten in, and it's been quite a while, and we still have no idea which way it wants to go. Looks like being on a downtrend though. What was I just talking about? Gold. Gold, yeah. Let's see if So that's a long trade instead of a short. Remove. Short starting here. And this would have easily hit our 16 ticks profit target. Honestly, it would have hit would have hit at least 25 ticks. Copper's still sideways. Something sent a signal that I accidentally clicked out on Bitcoin. I'm not really following that now. Bonds were still going downish. We're now back to one tick in profit on copper, and I'm honestly looks like we're going sideways. You can see here if I move this chart out of the way, we're still above the SMA. We touched it once on the 5-minute. The 1-minute looks like we're pretty much sideways. And there's no, you see here is a slight downtrend, but now this line is just straight. Now, does that mean that it can't could eventually go down? No, it doesn't. It's not really telling us what it wants to do. My guess is it might bounce off this SMA. It's touched once. This might be the bounce. We're 2 ticks down. I'm going to give it a little more time. 3 ticks down. But I might exit out of this trade if it gives us a gift of getting back to break even again. I think that little blip there made my viewers go away. It was at 5 Twitch viewers, and now it says 2. Oh, whatever. Oh, am I offline again? Oh, there we go. Restream seems to be having issues tonight. Can't wait to have the money to upgrade Streamlabs OBS to be able to broadcast to multiple venues. So we got crude and gold sending signals now. Gold you see has come down hard. Now it's kind of sideways. So if it does send us a buy signal, which it's trying to do, I know we still have this coming down hard. We can watch it. I'm still trying to learn when the best time to get in on the 1-minute chart. I mean, we're still this massive downtrending, but it doesn't take much for the SMA to start going sideways. So this could be a very good signal. With the bands might not, the downtrending bands might not mean as much. Crude also gave us a signal. Crude's still not sure what it wants to do. This has been a tight range again. Maybe maybe in the evenings I need to just go for something smaller. This would have got us 15 ticks. If I had done 15 by 10, that would have been a good trade, and it's still been a 1.5 to 1. So I gotta look at that. Maybe from open till 9 to find a smaller thing. Our goal, now see, see now copper gives me is teasing me because I said if it gave us the got back to break even, maybe that's where I'll get out. But now we're 2 ticks in the profit. Now we're back to 1. See, it's kind of messing with my head. Part of me says get out and take the break even or maybe get 1 tick out of this. And the other part of me says, well, it's going to go. And whichever decision I make, it's going to do the opposite. So, crude is I'm sorry, natural gas sent a signal. Natural gas is just as unsure about life as crude is right now. Sideways. Now we're back down to one. We're back to one tick down on copper. I really think, I don't know, thinking I want to get out of this trade before the top of the hour or tighten the stop. I think at the top of the hour we're going to see it just like balloon one way or the other. Let's look at the chart. See, we've actually had four green candles in a row, even though we've kind of trended downward on the 5 minute. And we're completely just sideways here on the one. So, but let's take a look back on the 5. See if anything popped yesterday at this would be 8 o'clock my time here. We got a big pop yesterday. Although yesterday we were seeing bigger candles. Let's see. Let's see what happened on Friday at 8 o'clock. Big pop at 8 o'clock, but it was already in an uptrend. Eight o'clock. Huh. Nothing happened that day at 8 o'clock. Nothing spectacular, but two candles later, it did a 20 tick drop. So what I'm going to do, right now this trade is right back at break even. I'm going to kind of gamble a bit. I shouldn't say gamble. It's not really a gamble. You never gamble, or you should never gamble in trading. What I'm going to do is, right now I'm running I have a 15 tick stop loss. Let's move it to, what do we get in at 15? Let's move our stop loss to 8 ticks. Which is $100. So it's not that big of a deal. If it ends, if something happens at the top of the hour, uh, then it happens and it stops itself for 100 or you know most 125 if there's any slippage. But if it goes our way, then maybe we get something out of this. We'll see. Bonds. No, I'm not going to do the James Bond thing again. Wrong chart. I don't know. See, bonds is still the volume just kind of sucks. See on the 5 minute chart, we're still in a strong downtrend on the 5, so we're just gonna continue to hang that out. See the volume. I mean, these 5 minute candles have only 25, 31 volume. There's not a lot of volume there at all. Crude. Oh, look at that. So crude hit our finally decided what I wanted to do. And oh wait, no, that's right. I was playing with it. Never mind. I didn't put it back. Ignore me. Crude's still not sure what it wants to do. So we'll draw that out more. Okay, so as we approach top of the hour, we've gone 3 ticks down. So maybe it'll stop us out even before we get to the top of the hour. I'll let you stop us out and then they'll go our way, and because I moved the stop, we lose the trade. Just kind of watching this. Crude again, crude again, crude again. Thank you for joining me for whoever's here. Please feel free to say hi in the chat, ask questions, make comments, heckle me, whatever you want to do. So I know someone's alive out there. We're still sitting at one tick down on copper. Now we're at break even again. So now it's going to happen most likely right here at 8 o'clock, and I could be wrong. We're probably going to see a bunch of alerts pop. So we'll see. We are about 30 seconds away. Let's see if I should have closed this out at break even, or one or two tick winner, or if it gives us a quick move down or up. So there we go. Things are moving. Things are moving kind of wild. On crude, I can see it moving. There we go. Look at that. Oh, big pullback. See if it continues going our way. Up 100. Stalling there. Back to only 3 ticks. Probably should have closed it out real quick. Let's see if it has momentum. Bunch of alerts we're going to ignore while we watch this copper trade. There we go. Pull back again. It's trying. There we go. There we go. Pulling all the way back. Okay, I closed it out there, I believe, for 6 ticks. We'll see if that was a mistake or not. Why did I close it out early? Because it seemed like, if you see here in the 5-minute, it's struggling to get below that SMA line. It kept going down. Now it may still, and you see this cell kind of firing and unfiring, so it may still go. We'll watch it. We closed it out. Let's look. That was probably annoying. I apologize. Executions. Looks like we got slippage. I think 15 to 95. Looks like we only got 4 ticks out of that. I thought we got 6. Ouch. So we closed it at 95. Let's see, am I right? Yeah, we're only up $50. So we closed it out at 53.95. Let's see what it's doing now. Oh yeah, we closed it out at the right time. It's at 54.10. So yeah, let's see what else is popping here. We got crude sending multiple signals. Crude went wild, it looks like. Oh yeah, look at that. Now we've been watching crude. First of all, we were, you know, still in this. Came down here. This is a perfect reversal candle. So if we had been actually watching the crude chart, we might have been able to quickly jump in and get this 10 ticks off this candle right here. But you had to been watching the chart because you can see how quickly it's going down and up. These are each 1 minute. So this went down 8 ticks. Then this bottomed out, came back up into this move. So that was real quick and dirty, not giving us any real direction of which way it's going to go once it's done. Copper is now, it's about at the price we got out at, I think. Yeah, I can't remember what screen I went to. I sold it, I bought it 95. So up now, I mean, now copper's, I mean, still kind of teasing. We'll see if it sustains this. You can see the up and down here on the 1 minute chart. You can see that it came down, broke the bands, popped back up, and then popped back down. So really quick up and down movement, but it looks like it might be trying to sustain a downward move. Yeah, we should have stayed in this trade. So that kind of might suck. See here that the low we were in the trade was at 53.55, and it's just gotten down lower than that. So yeah, I should not have cut this trade early. Look, it's effectively now broken that SMA on the 5 minute and it's continuing its downtrend. So I'm happy with the $50 profit, but it's looking like now we could have got more out of this. We got in at we got in at 15. So we'll see if it would have got to our $250 profit target. Right now it's still, you know, didn't get that far. 7 ticks and now it's coming back up. So we'll see. So maybe we did make a mistake. I mean, we could have obviously got a few extra ticks out of it, and closing it at, if I would have closed it at $100 instead of 50, it would have been better. But it doesn't know what it wants to do right now. And the whole market seems to be a little confused. Well, I shouldn't say that. You can see that the Nasdaq's continuing to go up, so we would have hit profit target on this buy signal as well. Remember, look at this. We were consolidating. I even drew out this line and said I think it might go down. Well, if I had marked an alert on this would have been a good place to get in. Once this big green candle popped through there, now let's just put a mark on that. Let's say we got in, like right there. You can see we already at 15 ticks. I'm sorry, 15 points. But this is to show you that right now the profit that can be made even in the evenings. Oh God. Let's just assume this is two trades on the NQ for a total of 30 points. 30 points is on the NQ is that's $600. So if you're going in on size, like say three contracts, you'll be up almost 2,000. Okay, gold. Gold continued its downtrend. This is a pretty significant downtrend for gold. Looks like it's at least what have we been went about 35 ticks down. Go back to 1.6. I think we're already below yesterday's. No, we're not. Never mind. I got a while ago. Yes, before yesterday's lows. But here, I mean, you can see the profitability. If I just got into these trades more, this is my big problem. This has been right here. These two trades could have been 260 bucks one contract. Crude still doesn't know what it's supposed to do, but there was an earlier trade on crude. That would have been 200 bucks right there. UB, wrong UB chart again. UB, we got a 7 tick winner here. That would have been $210. Copper gave us a good one earlier. And if we could have ran with it, it'd been even better. But that's $250. Now Copper's trying to give us a buy signal. So this just did almost exactly what I thought it would do. It just went down a little further than I thought. Looks like it's trying to continue this trend up now. As this bounces off the SMA line, we had a buy signal. We're going to get back into Copper on the buy side if this signal stays. We also got a signal on gold we'll look at real quick. Gold's trying to come back up. It has broken the SMA on the 1 minute. We'll watch that, but I'm more interested in copper right now. Buy the market. To market, to buy copper. Okay, in. There. We're in. See how we do. We're up 2 ticks. Two ticks up. Let's see if it continues up. We do have bands now on the 5 minute that are kind of going parallel. So we're probably, looking at 455.40 as a possible profit line. We're in at 454.65, so that's a little less than our would be normal. But that's where the first Bollinger Band is, which could be act as a resistance point. Let's see what we got firing here. HG Platinum. I haven't really looked at Platinum. Hopefully we're continuing this upward momentum. Natural gas. Wrong chart. There we go. Still, natural gas still doesn't know what it wants to do. Ah, big pullback on copper. Darn it. Let's see if hopefully this is just a slight pullback. There we go. There we go. Now we got some movement upwards. You know, and if I really do fight the urge to just close the trade now. But why would that be bad? Yeah, profit's never bad, but we have a 15 tick stop loss. So if we're constantly closing a trade early before at least reaches 15 ticks, then your risk to reward's going down below 1 to 1. And then you really need high win rates to start to make sure you're profiting. So there we go. We're kind of crawling up the bands on the 1 minute. Gold's still begging for our attention, but we're right here on copper for now. There we go. Profit target. We're up to $200. Pulling back a little bit. Our stop losses moved to break even. We are up 14 ticks. Hoping for a little bit more momentum. We need 7 more ticks to reach profit pull. Hopefully this is just a slight pullback. It's kind of stalling here. See if it's still got some momentum. Let's pull back. I really struggle with this because I hate letting a winner turn into, and in this case, it'll turn into break even. But I hate that. But like I said, when I look at the charting out the trades I don't take, but would have taken, I don't even look at whether or not something pulls all the way back. But ouch. So right now we're at $100 in profit. That's 8 ticks. There we go. The back. Gold still wants our attention. Let's see what gold's doing here while we're watching this. Well, it looks like gold. This might be a good trade on gold. We didn't get in here, obviously, but it looks like it's bent the bands and looks like it's trying to move up. That's another thing I need to be better at is getting into multiple trades at once if I'm only trading one contract. We'll mark that off there. Continue to concentrate here on copper. Another pullback on this 5-minute candle here. Go back over here. It's 3 straight red candles on the 1 minute, and that's bothering me. We are at, I didn't see, and I wasn't paying attention to this. This is my mistake. We did rub right up against that Bollinger Band. That would be a good point to get out. Now we are down, back down to only 3 ticks in the profit. It's going to stop us out. We stopped out at break even. I managed that trade very badly. Once I hit the Bollinger Band and bounced, I should have just taken that. So that's frustrating. Very frustrating. It'd be even more frustrating if it eventually goes to the profit target. So let's make sure, yep, completely break even on that trade. But I was up $200 at one point. So it's not a loss, but really it is. So it's going to be interesting what could happen here. Let's see if it bounces off this 5 minute SMA. We're actually at the SMA on the 1 minute as well. So obviously the play here would have been to set the profit target at the Bollinger Band. And I even said it. The fact that I said it and didn't do it frustrates me. Gold's still going up toward a profit target, so we should have got in that trade. Again, I wasn't sure, but once it broke that SMA, that was a good sign to get in. And I mean, again, we could have got in on the 5 minute as well. The 5 minute fire just this last candle, so we could have got in. We'll be up 2 ticks there as well. And again, if we had gotten in here with this one, we could have gotten in with a second one here and continued the trend up. We'll see whether or not it gets to that profit target. And remember, we're all still learning here, definitely including me. If I wasn't still learning, I'll be funded by now. So here we got a sell signal again now here on or it's trying to on the 1 minute. Bouncing off the SMA again. We're at the SMA line on both the 5 minute and 2 minute. And as you can see, the bands are closing. So this SMA line may not hold, but we may start ranging again just like we did here. See how it's still respecting the bands, although now it might be. So we got a sell signal on the reverse on copper. So this has been, I mean, this has been confusing. If you know, let's mark this off. Now, we're above. On the 5-minute chart, we have the SMA that's just running right through the price action. Basically, it's above it now. We're above the SMA though. I mean the EMA on the 200 EMA on the 1 minute. So let's say we had taken this buy here. This is the one we missed. Again, don't know why I didn't take that one. Took this one instead, which didn't get to our goal. But if we had taken, oh yeah, oh maybe not. I looks like I'm wrong. Oh, that would have stopped us out. Okay, that would have stopped us out at that. Where I warned us about that 9 o'clock price action. So okay, so that would not have worked. So there we go. And it's interesting because I guess maybe if we look at it, if we had taken this sell signal, which I was leery of, let's see, gold. Gold's really going. Let's see. No, looks like that wouldn't have hit profit target either. So either way, okay. So either one of those signals wouldn't have worked. This one, so far it's just not doing what I thought it would. I'm not going to get back into this trade. I don't think this is going to continue to go down. If it does, then it proves me wrong. But you see this uptrending move, this uptrending band on copper. So right now we have 7 ticks in this candle. It doesn't have a full 20 ticks in it before this band. So maybe it bends the band, maybe it doesn't. But there's just too many variables here for me to jump in on this trade. Russell. So Russell sent us a sell signal. Again, we're looking at SMAs. I really need to go back and look to see how many times sell signals breach the SMAs and see if I should be worried about these SMAs as much as I am. Gold. So gold actually, that move on gold actually fizzled out. Yeah, we saw this uptrend on the the SMA on the 1 minute, but it only ever got as far as 10 ticks, 11 ticks. So again, maybe we need to go for shorter targets. I don't know. I'll have to look at that some testing. This could still go, but right now we're straightening out. And if you look here in the 5 minute, ah, 5 minute, the 5 minute's still in the downtrend. This is basically a bounce off the SMA line. So this is where that's what I'm concerned about. You can actually see since open, this is kind of zigzagged. Boom, up, pull back, up, down, pull back, try to go back. Oops. So now gold's sending an opposite signal. Actually, I missed it already by 2 candles. So we'll just gotta be a spectator there. One viewer. NQ. Okay, so NQ is pulling back. How to sell? It's sideways on the 5 minute, tightening bands on the 1. See, copper's still back to this whole now sideways, which is what I was expecting. So, when you're in a markets like this, again, maybe I need to start, looking at smaller profit targets. This, if I would have did this, this would have reached, let's follow along. 5 ticks, 15 ticks, 7, not 15 ticks, but 7 ticks. Let's see, that would have reached 10 ticks at the very, not including the, 10 ticks. Would have gotten to, 12 ticks. So maybe we need some shorter profit goals here, especially on the 1 minute chart in the early evening. Definitely something to check out. Now, with shorter profit targets, you also have a shorter stop loss. So it's going to stop me out more often. But here, I mean, this one stopped me out. But if I had on this one, which is the one we went to break even on. Oops. We got in on that candle. And I mean, we got, according to that, we must have got in a little bit of slippage, because according to that, I got within 1 tick of my profit target. But even so, even if we got in, even with 3 ticks of slippage, obviously, this would have been a good trade. Of course, it would have been a good trade if I had just managed it right, too. And your ES. So it looks like these are trying to move down. Trying to push those bands back downward. Crude oil, crude oil, crude oil. So crude's still kind of, up and down whack. I had this good move early, and now I can't decide what it wants to do. We got in here, so we were up 12 ticks. It looked like we were up 15 ticks at the most. So it's kind of interesting. We could have got a 15 tick winner there. If that's, This is 12 ticks. So, if we had caught this one, we could have actually gotten, I think we could have gotten multiple 10 tick winners out of this whole mess. Let's look. Um, let's just put that to the side for now. Long. No, short. So short position there. Got in there. 7 by 10. Took us to there. Oh, that's 11. 7 by 11. Better. 7. That's a that's a respectable 1.43 to 1. So if we got in the opposite direction then, which would have been here, it's another 10. Another 10 ticks. I don't think we would have got 10 ticks out of this next one, but we'll look. Maybe. Cell signal fired there, so we got in. Oh yeah, look at that. That went 10 ticks. Wow. This is kind of impressive, folks. And by folks, I think I mean the whole entire one viewer that's here. What's the NCast and EQ? They're going sideways. Easy for me to say. So, what was there? Something crude. Clone this. The spy signal fired. Which candle? There. Okay, this is the one that would have failed. Oh, maybe? Or did I go for a cell? Yeah, I went for a cell. We'll put the cell here, which gave us 10 ticks. I believe it was just buy signal that would have failed. So look at this. This is pretty interesting when you look at it here. We would have had one failure. This whole mess here that I've been in, this whole one trade that's going for 20 by 16, could have resulted in an 80% win rate. 4 out of 5 if we went for 10 ticks with a 6 tick, or this 7 tick, or even a 6 tick stop loss. So this would have been a net of 33 ticks. That doesn't sound like a lot. That's $330. If you were doing it with size, three contracts, you're at $1,000. But now, let's go back to the original here. As you can see, we're trending big time downward. They finally decided a direction. So overall, I know it's hard to see now with this whole mess, but we finally reached profit target on the original trade we entered. Now, and here, what's interesting though, if we had taken these 5 trades instead of this one trade, this one trade got us 20 ticks, $200. These 5 trades would have netted us 33. Yes. So it looks like I was right here. This move down was not really a move down. I think we're going to continue back up. So let's just check. So far we've done 2 trades, $50 profit, 0, and then a break even. So after commissions of $4.04 each time, we're up just about $41.92, I believe. It's not a lot. Now, so copper did prove me wrong, obviously. I should have. They could have managed all this so much better. But we're good short here. I really didn't think this was going to sustain. But let's see. Yep, that would have went to profit. So, basically, We got in this. I think it was here we got in. Let me go check. What time did we get in? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So this is the cell we got into. And we followed this down and we went up and down, up and down, up and down. I should have jumped out here. And I did, but I should have jumped out at a better time. So this is worth $50, you know, $50 win. This could be managed a little bit better. This I should have got out at the Bollinger Band. This could have been a $175 win. And we would have had a $250 win there and a $250 at least win here as this went up. But at least it's $250. So, copper at the most we should have been at least 3-1, if not 4-0. Sideways here in the indices. I didn't mark off the S&P. S&P actually did a little bit better so far than the Nasdaq. We would have got could have got a 2-point win. Not that, big of a deal. Usually go for 4 points. Copper. You see how close this was. Copper got down to our profit target. Now it did go a little bit further down here on this candle, this wick, but it's kind of sideways now. So we just barely got to this profit target so far. It's a game of inches, just like this one. Never got to our profit target, but only by a couple ticks. So that's why The bummer here is the slippage that I'm not even sure if I was late getting in or if there's that much slippage. Let me look at the executions there. Uh, got in at 54.15. No, wrong one. 54.65 at 8:11:01. 54.60. Okay, 2 ticks of slippage. Oh, never mind. Look at that. Huge move down here on copper. So copper's giving us, would have gave us a very nice win if we had stayed in that trade, stayed in the trend. So, and this one, we got in, there was 2 ticks of slippage from the actual opening of the candle. Even though we got in 1 second after the candle opened. So we marketed in, which is probably why we hit the ask. But even so, it went enough to our profit target that maybe we should have, I don't know, maybe made the trailing higher than what we did. This was a huge move down on copper. This was a, wow. 453.25 to 450.90. This is a $500 move down. It's bounced back up some, but that was a very, this was kind of what I was expecting at the 8 o'clock hour, but it just came out of nowhere. You see the huge increase in volume. The candle prior to this had 35 total volume, and this one had 602. So more than 20 times the volume of the last candle. Someone looks like they unloaded a huge amount of contracts. So it's looking like I might have been wrong on these sells too. I thought they weren't going to have any oomph to them. I just got to start taking more trades. This is what I'm talking about. I second guess everything. I see it perfectly, when I go back. But this is up 3 points. You know, if I was taking all these, even if they almost went halfway, I'll be making my $1,000 a day. Let's see, what's gold doing? Gold? I'm confused on gold. So this is that. This is this stop out here. I'm at 1.6 to 1.2. Again, that's where 1.2 is. Now it's interesting. If we had gotten in on this, short order, I hate that these say buy and sell. They should say long and short. I wish there was a way to change that. But let's clone this. So you can see this would have been a winning trade as well for 1.6. So, or 1, if we had done 1. If all these had just been 1, we would be up, this would be 4 for 4 in trades to go to, instead, let's see. This was 10. So technically this, if I was doing the normal amount, would be 2 out of 4. Only up 12 ticks. No. 2 out of 4. 32 win. It's only up 8 ticks. Whereas we could be 4 for 4, up 40 ticks. That one viewer. So I was looking to see if there anything else gives us a signal. We still got our $50 on the day, but we see we could be doing much better. I think probably not for tomorrow. Remember, I know there's nobody actually watching right now, but remember tomorrow we're back on in the morning at 7:30 Eastern, and but I think I want to try and take some time, hopefully soon. Oops, oops, am I in the wrong one? Yeah, I am. Duh. There we go. Take some time soon to just put one bunch of 1 minute charts into one, like maybe ESNQ gold and copper on one, and RTY UBCL and natural gas on the other. Be able to watch easier to jump in on these signals. Copper bounced off this low. This has been, this is a band bounce. Be interested to see if it makes it all the way back up to the SMA. This candle, after the first green candle, it's been a good candle to get into at 5,200, 452. It's going up to, so it's going up 13 ticks. And if it gets all the way back to the SMA, that'll be a profit target. ES, what's the ES doing? ES kind of sideways still. Still be up 3 points. Now this, once I saw this going sideways, that might have closed the trade if I was in it. It's because we are already above our, stop loss. So even if I close this trade, it'd be better than a 1-to-1 risk. NQ isn't quite at our stop. Our stop's 10 points. And it's at 7, so gold. Gold's now trying to push back up again. Now you see, you know, it did not make our profit target last time. It would have made 10. And same thing here. So far, it looks like the moves up have only been good for 1 point. So now it's just opened a new candle. Let's see if it goes to 1 point, just out of curiosity. I was going to get in, but again, I didn't jump in time. Right now, this would be up if we got in here. 85. Oh, I mean, sorry, yeah, 18057. It'll be up 4 ticks. Now, the 2 minute chart just gave us a buy. But see how we're coming into this downward Bollinger Band? We're still on a downtrend on the 5 minute. To me, this is not going to run. What's crude doing? Crude. Crude also, again, somehow we missed that buy signal on crude again. See what it's doing on the. See, the crude's basically doing the same thing as gold. It's going to be coming up here to this SMA. Again, we can watch 59, and it's up to 63, so it's up 3 or 4 ticks. Both are kind of climbing up. Copper got up almost to the SMA line and then pulled back. So let's see. We got in here. If we got in here at 52 off this first candle off this big green one, that would signal at least somewhat of a reversal. We only got 15 ticks out of it. So I mean that's $187.50. So if we put a 10 tick profit target on that for $125, that'd been great. Crude dog, crude pulling back a little bit now. So it didn't even get 10. See what it does. Like I said, I did not expect that to run. Still don't. Gold's still trying. It hit this band. You see the bands are starting. It's very rare, but again, 1 minute charts are the bands are not as effective. But it's rare to see almost a 90-degree angle. It's slightly. I mean, it's a slightly obtuse. There, my geometry teacher would be very proud. Obtuse angle, just slightly. But you see how it's going sideways. Now, well, we'll be interested if this continues. If it goes sideways, giving enough room for the bands to kind of continue expanding, and then follows it up. You still have this SMA line on the 5 minute chart to deal with, but you know, you're like 7 ticks away from that, so there's a little bit of room for movement. We see that the bonds have made this bigger move upward. It's at a buy here, and you see that the band started already, because we were kind of sideways here, so the bands were already bending. This has been a good candle to get in on. Technically, I mean, best candle to get in on of the recents would have been this one. Why? It came down hard here, and this is kind of a good reversal candle. Now, I mean, yeah, I pulled back, but let's see. Let's just take it there. That seems so huge, doesn't it? See, it would have had to come all the way back down to here to get to the stop loss. So, this looks like a decent trade to take. It's looks like it's 1 tick away from what would have been this entry. It'll be up 3 ticks now, so we'll see how that, if that ends up turning into the place where we wanted to buy. And in case you're wondering, I mean, why I wouldn't have gotten any of these sell signals, I just don't like all these little lines that have no volume. Could we have gotten in on a sell there? Let's look. Boom, 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 boom. Well, in order to got a win out of that, we would have needed to settle for 5, which would have been a 1-to-1. It's just if you're 1-to-1, if you're winning more than losing, is okay. But and in lesser volume, that's probably a good decision. This did give us 7, but the safer goal would have been 5.3. You can see it never pulled back to even close to the 3. So let's look back on gold. Gold, oh, see, gold did bend the band, so it's now moving up. Now let's see if it breaks this SMA line on the 5 minute. I missed what that signal was. Oh, that was a buy. So copper, I'm sorry, gold has a buy signal now on the 5 minute as well. It's right at the SMA line and it's trying to break it. You see here, if we had gone in on this trade on the 1 minute, it's going to laugh at me because it's already up 12 ticks. Now we see here, this wick here, crude oil bounced off the SMA. How far did it go before it bounced? Well, that's a good question. This was their entry, and it looks like it went 11 ticks. So once again, a 10 tick profit target here would have worked. Maybe that's what we need to start doing here in the evenings. Make things more exciting for everybody, and maybe get some more profit. And then if I see where it's working, instead of going for a larger tick size, we can add a second contract. I want to get this thing done. This gauntlet. Yeah, no one should rush it, but it's just hanging over my head now. I want to prove to everyone it can be done. And I know other people have proved it, but I think it's just time I stop messing around. What was that signal? UBNQ. What's NQ doing? Oh, see, yeah. Okay, so we got to profit target on the ES. We got the profit target on, no, we didn't. But we're above 10 points now on the NASDAQ. Just kind of watching things now. Something popped? What was that signal? Crude's playing around again. What's crude doing? Crude, see? So we got, let's look at this pattern here. It's kind of hard to look at it, isn't it? That's kind of ugly. But, we've seen, we had this nice follow through at the beginning, but since then we haven't had any follow through. This is the only, this gave us this would have given us the 16 ticks I look for, or 20 ticks I look for, I'm sorry, on crude. But all these others wouldn't have. This one wouldn't have. And now, so, but they would have given us 10. So now, been interesting, and I missed it. I got to start being able to watch these better. Let's just see whether this gives us 10. takes us down to just about the Bollinger Band. So, if we can start doing 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, that's interesting. I'll have to research that. Not research, but test that, backwards. Back. Well, let's do that. Matter of fact, let's go back in time to yesterday. This was, oops. So you can see yesterday, we had better movement yesterday, honestly. Because we got, this one's kind of stopped us. So let's see here. First of all, we got 20 ticks off the bat, off the open. But what's interesting here, let's just do this. First of all, did I mark down what they did? I did not. I should count this out. Excuse me while I count this out before I start messing with it. 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7, 2, 8, 2, 8, 3, 9, 3, 9, 4, 10, 4, 12, 4. Oh, wait a minute. 12, 4. Make that 11, 3. Oh, I didn't finish it. That's what. Okay, never mind. I'll finish that later. I'm not going to sit here and chart in front of you and bore you to death. So I'll just fix this later. So let's say. So if we had gone 10, that would have been a win there. This is getting interesting. So then we did here. And it's making this hard to see. Boom. Doom, 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 doom. 10. We got 10 there. Long. Now here, this one was a little tougher. I wouldn't have taken this trade on this buy signal. Why? Deep into the Bollinger Bands on one big candle up. Almost always pulls back. So this one I probably wouldn't have ever taken a trade on just because I don't concentrate on the chart itself. But I would. After this candle here, where this pullback came back up to the same level, I would have got in here. And yes, it would have pulled back right away, but we would have got our 10. So then, let's see here. This one, our next symbol. You notice this one went to a stop out. But let's just do this. Let's move it down to 10. Okay, so this one never reaches 10. Nope, this one never reaches 10. So that would have ended up stopping us out. Now the interesting thing, and this is one thing I also struggle with, when it reaches an opposite signal do you get in? Because this one would have reached 10. But it never went far enough at this point to stop us out either. So should I have gotten out here? At that point, we were technically still in profit based on our entry. We were 3 ticks in the profit. So we could have got in, you could have got out here, and then in, which would have worked, but there's no way we could have known that. So you just gotta consider that a loss. But then got our 10 there, and one more again. This one would end up being a loss. And this one would have worked for 10, obviously, because it worked for 20. This one went from 15 down to 8, so that would have stopped us out. This one would have stopped us out. So, then I guess we got to look at the volume and how much stuff's moving as well. Because last night at this time, things were more hopping. This is about the time we're at right now. And we were getting nice 20 tick wins. So, let's go back to the future. I'll have to rechart that. We see here we are 5 ticks from that signal. I mean, see what copper's doing. Copper sideways, pulled back, went back down. So if you had played this, so you played this bounce off this band, or the band bounce at 52.40, went down to 51.40. That was a full 20 ticks. Now it's going sideways. You see that the bands, the ATR line, and the SMA line are all pretty much horizontal. So this would indicate to me that we're at the end of this trend. At least that's what it looks like on the 1-minute chart. And the next buy signal could be a good one. We see the same thing here. We did set a slight downtrending of the SMA line, but it's not huge. And there is that buy signal we were just talking about. So we are going to get back in if this buy signal holds. And again, there's enough room up to the SMA for it to go back up to the SMA on the 5. Now, it's kind of iffy here. We got 27 seconds. We're going to go in on the bid. Order filled on the bid. It did keep the buy. It's not a strong buy. I'll be honest. It's really not. Gold. What's gold doing? So that gold move did give us 16 ticks. And then immediately pulled back to the SMA line. Got up to the SMA on the 5. Crude. Crude did not give us 10 ticks that time. It has now given us an opposite signal. But look at our copper trade here. Copper, wow, copper just blew up. My stop loss is now 4 ticks behind its highest price. It's $200 in the profit. It's probably going to come down and hit my trailing stop. Let's see though. See if it has another run into it. Trailing stop. Okay, $150 profit. Moved up and hit far enough for my stop to move forward. It moved up. It hit our profit target of 250, and then pulled back to 150. Now it's still going. So again, moving the trailing stop, just cost us profit, but we got another $150, or at least I believe that's what we got. Counts. No, we didn't. What the heck? Really? So we only got 112, which is 9 ticks. Was there that much slippage? Edit. Edit. At 17 ticks, it moves back 7. So that's So that'd be 10 ticks. That'd be 100. Oh. Hmm. Hmm. I want to adjust that because that's gonna. I think that's gonna end up costing me money, like it just did. Let's just see who here. So we're up 162.50, which we shouldn't be upset about. But and we have a gold fire. We have a sell signal firing on gold. I missed it again by 2 candles. So let's see. This is kind of a disappointment, but again, $150 is $150 and not bad at all. But as you can see, if I gotten in and not blown that trade, it blew up well above our $250 or 20 ticks. So this would have been a full win that I let come back and then take me out. It's okay. It still kind of sucks. But we are 2 for 3, and technically, I mean 2-0-1, because that one was stop off at break even. But we could be doing much better. NQ. So NQ never did get to our 15 profit target, and it's kind of coming back up now and flirting with a buy signal. But we're still well in the profit. We did get our 4 tick profit in the ES. So NQ is definitely flirting with a buy. Gold, we got to sell. Crude oil. So this would have ended up, well, we're not stopped out yet, but did send an opposite signal. I haven't checked natural gas lately. Oh, look at natural gas. So this sell would have ended up stuffing us out. You can see that. But what's interesting, if we had decided to get in on one of these buys instead, right here we were halfway to our stop out. So maybe that's where if you're halfway to stop out, reverse it if you get the opposite signal. I don't know. Right there is where the last buy signal came in. So, I mean, 40 ticks, is it there yet? Oh, touch 39. I want to thank the few of you that are here with me this evening. Please feel free to say hi in the chat or ask any questions or anything like that. Nice to find one more good trade. So we're approaching 10:30 on the East Coast. So we can mark off this gold trade. This was a good bounce basically off the SMA. Russell. Russell's been trending upwards since the open. Where we have gotten in at? Let's look back. And we could have got right in off here. This was right up against the bands. Probably, especially with the the EMA below the price action on both the well, sorry, below the price action will be going up. Let's see. This signal here definitely would not have gotten to our profit target of 3 points. This would have stopped us out somewhere. Way, 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 way down here. Now, if we would have immediately reversed into a buy, because there was a buy signal here from that stop out on this candle, see if that would have worked. And that we got there. This big candle down here, would we have gotten in? I don't know. No, we wouldn't have. Just because we have the strong uptrend. So yeah, we would not have. We would have gotten in possibly on this next candle here. Although I probably would not have, because it's well into the bands and it touched the third band. But we'll mark it off just because, and that would have stopped us out. Again, this sell signal here would have also stopped us out. About that buy. So sometimes I'm also looking at the fact that they say only go with the trend, which makes sense. The trend is your friend and all that. And if your EMA line's under the price action, that means you're in an uptrend. So as you can see, now this one wouldn't work, but we were, like I said, we were in the bands. But this sell here didn't work, and this sell didn't work, but the buys here are working. You can see this one's going to work. Boom, 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 boom. There. So right now, so far we see here 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 5 trades. 3 losers. The 2 winners were both long trades. The 2 losers were short trades, and this is the long trade that we should have never got into because it was in the Bollinger Bands. Now, here's where it gets tough though. This looks like it's the end of the trend. You see, by the end down here, we're getting close to that SMA line. This probably is going to be a trade that will work, but if we hadn't taken those 2 losses earlier, even if this works, it looks like actually, I mean, we have not reached profit target. But even if this one works, all this does is make up for these 2 losses. So if we wouldn't be taking against the trend, this is just going to be these 3. If this one goes to profit, that's just 3 break-even trades where we went against the trend. Where even if we would have gotten to the Bollinger Band one here, 3 went with the trend, been 2 and 1 for a 4.5 points of profit, or $225. So I do want to look at those stats. I wish I had more time to do data analysis. Gold. So gold again, over here. Again, this move would have got us 1 full point. We now have a buy signal going the opposite direction. And it looks like this is the one that has the potential to really maybe break out and start a new trend upwards. Why do I say that? Let's look at this 5-minute. Okay, we already broke the SMA and it's almost sideways. But on the 5-minute, if you look here, strong downward trend. You can see right here, this price actually started making the SMA. I'm sorry, start going just a bit sideways. You can see here, as it's meeting this. This is the price line right here. It's starting to almost match it for horizontalness, if that's a word. So if this really breaks, this is where you could start seeing doom doom, and by next candle or 2, you start seeing the band start moving back upwards, or it could just go sideways. But again, it's got to break that band. So we'll see whether or not we could have got another 10 ticks out of this move, or out of this, this signal. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah. Just looking for. Hopefully we can get one more good trade. Probably wrap up here next 15 minutes to half an hour. Let's take a back look back through it. We're still sideways on the bonds. Everything's kind of sideways. We see, copper made that big move that we got 9 ticks out of, and now it's going sideways. Crude with a signal. So look at here. This crude. Oh, I'm sorry. This is natural gas. Okay, didn't we did not. Let's see. What's the entry point on this? 29 up to 68. We would have got within 1 tick. It's kind of pulling back now. Still not a lot of volume. What was that last signal? NQ. NQ, NQ, NQ. NQ is still back to trending downward. Gold is sideways. What's soybean oil doing? Soybean oil is in a sell. NQ. NQ sends another sell signal, but right up against bands. We're in a squeeze on the 5 minute. Just seems like we're sideways on it right now. I'm not convinced of a entry here, although that's it's a pretty. It's moved down 2 points on this candle. NQ. So here's the sell signal on NQ again. Now, obviously we already had this trade that's open. Again, if we had done a smaller profit target, if we had done 10, we would already be there. And then we could be re-entering here. So, we'll see what this does. I don't know what this white line is. So we'll get rid of it. Although, if we're only going for 10, instead of having 60 points of profit from these prior two, we'll only be at 40. Which, I mean, still $800? Yeah. 15 points of profit is $300. So, no, I'm sorry, $600. No, yeah, so, no, $400. Yeah, there we go. No. 15 plus 15. Ah, 30 times 20. Yeah, 600. So 600, where we have 400. I don't know why I couldn't do that math. Ooh, big candle here. Not sure what popped that. That would have been a good profit, but there was no signal for it. There's no warning. That would have been, that would have got us, well, a $250 profit target, but there's absolutely no warning for it. I mean, there was just even. I mean, it was riding the band, and this came out of nowhere. Gold still trying to push up from this buy signal. Natural gas is still farting around. Get it? Gas farting. So crude had a big symbol here. Now this is one of those interesting ones here. You know, that big candle would have given us a stop from this sell signal here, which never got even 10 ticks in profit. But what would have happened, let's say, if we had gotten out when this buy signal fired? Now, first of all, we had a big pullback. This pulled back 6 ticks. So, oops, wrong direction. So what would have happened? I'll even tell you. So without even drawing it in, looking for if we were looking for a normal 10 ticks of profit based on these smaller goals, it would have stopped us out in the first candle. Now we could have got back in. Next time, it came down. Once it bopped back up, we're been good. So this candle here in 17. Now this is where you get interesting. Where do you decide to start using? If you go down to 10, at what time do you go to start using the higher profit target and stop loss? If we had done the higher profit target and stop loss, well, we wouldn't be there either. We would not be at. We wouldn't have stopped out yet. 2016, we would be about 14 ticks in the profit, going sideways. So everything is kind of sideways right now. So I don't know if we're going to get another entry right now. We'll stick with it for a few more minutes. Copper is still trending upwards. Now it is, if you're going completely off of support and resistance and chart patterns, you see here, this is, this is the resistance area that it's going into right now. Since open, it's come up here. Excuse me. Let's see. It topped out here at 55.45. Topped out here at 55.45, the exact same level. And now it's come up here. It didn't quite get there again, but it's still trying. So if it breaks 55.45, then it could start heading up toward yesterday's high, which would probably be the next major resistance point. No, next major resistance point after that would be here at 55.85, which really is only, it's only 8 ticks above that other resistance. Gold. Gold's still going sideways. It sent a sell signal, and this is where things can really get, you know, just blah, sending signals back and forth. Even it would not have gotten to a 1 point profit target. It would have been all the way down to 8 ticks. I mean, I know people that scalp 5 ticks, but I mean, where do you put your stop if you scalp 5 ticks? Just one to one and hope you're right most of the time. Let's look if that would have worked. It's 5 ticks. Would have worked here. That would have worked there. Would have worked there, I think. Entry point was also, how far do we go down? 3 ticks, yeah, would have worked there. Would have worked there. So maybe this is something. That would have worked. That would have worked. That would have worked. Wow, this is actually kind of impressive. Maybe that is a thing. But I don't know why I didn't mark this one off. So this would have worked there too as 5 ticks. Would not have worked for 10. So that would be a stop out. And of course this would not have worked at all. That just went for 3 ticks. Thank you. So would a 5x5 work? Interesting concept. You could do 5x5 on 3 contracts and do very well. So we're sitting here on gold as we get a gold signal. We can see this would have now, no, wouldn't have. If we're going for 10, it's close to stopping us out. If we're going for 16, it's not. It is down to the Bollinger Bands. So crude oil is still pulling back. It's to the SMA line now. So that's an interesting point. So I'm curious about scalping now. Let's go back and look at copper. Scalp would have worked there, obviously. Wait, this is gold again. How did I get there? Oh, what's crude saying? See, crude now says send us a opposite signal, but again, we would still be in profit here. Do we want to take this trade? Let me look at the 5 minute. Big move up here with one candle on the 5 minute. And it's pulling back. I think this is going to continue going upwards. So back to that whole scalping. Let's just look. Went through a 5 minute on copper. That's not what I wanted to do. So let's see. This trade, yeah, this would have worked for. Let's go to 8 points. 8 points is $100. That would have worked there. Would not have worked here. This would have stopped us out over an 8 ticks before it went to profit target. Would have worked here. It would have worked here. Would have worked there. Now these are all the uglies back when there was like no volume. Definitely that one wouldn't have worked. I don't think. Interesting. Actually, I would never have gotten in there. But let's just park that there, and 8 ticks is 40. So yeah, that's interesting. I mean, getting in there on that first symbol would have eventually got to that. Although a trade that lasts over an hour, you can't really call a scalp. But speaking of copper, something's sending us a signal. Aha, reversal. Interesting. Straight line wide bands on the 5 minute chart here. So it's already pulled back, 3 ticks. The bands are horizontal. The EMA, the SMA, every line is horizontal, and that's almost true on the 1 minute chart here as well. As you can see, everything's horizontal. It looks like the SMA on the 1 minute is actually just a slight uptrending slope. So that would not. This is a sell signal. Wouldn't have been confident in taking if I caught it right as it happened. So we're about 10:45 East Coast. If nothing pops in the next 4 or 5 minutes, then we'll call it a night. Be back in here at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. As we see, this gold would have stopped us out. Never got to 10. Would have stopped us out at 7. Natural gas trade finally got to 40 ticks. And this crude trade is very close to its profit target as it bounced off the SMA and went to profit target of 20 ticks. So now again, we saw back here yet when there was lesser volume. Instead of doing one big trade for 20, we could have done 5 little trades for 10 and been 4 out of 5. But is the extra concentration needed to do that worth, the extra ticks? Either way, it would have worked. Then if we had been doing 20, excuse me, we had gotten into 20 here, we would have never got stopped out, as you can see. So this loss we took on this one would just be all one big trade here. And because that, excuse me, got a tickle in my throat. This entry point was lower than this one, we would already be at profit. So if we had just stuck with 20, 20 by 16, since the start of the day on crude, not including this first symbol, which I wouldn't have taken, although I'd be curious to see what that actually did. But we would actually be 3 for 3, $600 worth of profit. So let's just see. I would never take this first trade off this first candle. Technically, it was the second candle, even so. Let's see how far that went. I think it would have been a 10, maybe. 10, 11, 12. So then 12. That's not bad coming off the open. But honestly, my goal when I'm funded and no longer have to worry about figuring out how to make money during the day will probably be I will probably trade between the hours of 8 p.m. Eastern time to about 11 a.m. Eastern. Now, am I saying everybody should be trading 13 hours? Absolutely not. Most traders trade 1 or 2 hours a day at the most. But I really like trading. And honestly, once I get the system down and once I start trusting myself, I really believe I'm going to be profitable. And I want to get out of debt fast. And then I want to be able to start helping people fast. I want to be able to get out of this house fast, get someplace nice, Pennsylvania, for instance, something like that. And I want to finally improve the life I'm living. So trading 13 hours, if I'm consistently profitable and sticking to my system, should make things happen faster. Especially if once I'm funded with Earn to Trade, I move to a second account with UProfit or Apex or Lilu or one of those others and start doing things exponentially. Gold, NQ, ES, what are they all doing? So we have buy signals on ES and the NQ. Very strong, 1 point by strong, looks strong there on this chart, but so it looks like NQ's never going to get to might never get to it. We're almost back at break even on what would have been this trade. So, maybe a 10 point would have been much better on this particular one. This looks like off the bat here, this looks like a strong move upwards. It's a stronger move upwards than we've seen. I mean, here you had small candles, but you're seeing a couple big candles here. Although, not much more, but maybe. Gold. Gold looks like gold might have got another 10 out of this short signal. Yep, it did. Actually got up to down to 13, so this will be another win for 10. We would have had the reverse on this signal, which I don't know if I would have done just because that went right at break even. I mean, it would have been a good decision, but, it would have been tough because, like, again, here it's looking like, reversing on the candle here. This would have made this a slightly profitable trade, and we would have got in here, and this would have went to profit target. So that's definitely, there's strategies for everything. This one only went, didn't go to 10. So if I would have went to here, we got the buy signal here. Again, this would have been 2 ticks of profit if we had just followed the opposite signal. So that that's pretty interesting when you think about it. And it's again another strategy I need to consider. Hey, old Linux, how you doing? How's your night? Did you do any trading today? Oh, I missed a buy signal here on copper, but again, I'm not. We see that copper's really having some struggles moving upwards. We have these highs here, but they keep getting beaten down. We can see long wicks up top, but this is a good move. But from this candle, we would only be up 5 ticks so far. I'm doing all right. Uh, Taking 3 trades on copper tonight. 2 wins, but smaller than my profit target. One, I took 4 ticks of profit um, before it pulled back, so that was good. But it could have been a better win if I had gotten out earlier. Second one was a break even that had gone well over $100 in profit and came back, stopped me at break even. Third one went up enough to move my stop to a trailing stop and stopped me out at about 10 ticks, and then went to profit target. So it's a good night that I'm up, $162, I believe it is. Yeah, 162.50, but it should be more than that. You see, this is actually a strong move up, and I missed the signal. I just didn't see it pop. It's not as strong as that. These candles look bigger than I thought. This would have been, so far we're 60% to goal. Gold. Gold's been all topsy-turvy. Oh, wow. I'm missing all kinds of signals. Now, again, this one would have spooked me a little bit, but I really got to look that maybe I shouldn't be spooked by these downturning SMAs on the 1-minute chart. Oh, yeah, green is definitely good. I'm not complaining about green. I just need green to start happening a little bit faster because I really want to get this funding thing done because my life is falling apart quickly financially. Thanks, man. I appreciate the words of encouragement. Okay, so let's look at the ES here and see if I should have taken this trade. E- ES did hit our profit target earlier, and there. So far, this would have been a very good entry for at least 2.25 ticks. See if it gets our 4 points that we look for, or I've been looking for. Which really looks like actually kind of a daunting task when you look at that. Is it going to come all the way back up there? Maybe not. Probably not. Maybe not. We'll see. We do have a uptrending EMA on, so See, 4x2 worked well yesterday. You'll get there too. I'm really trying to perfect the use of this super trend, and because I've moved down to a 1 minute chart now, and it's giving me some impressive win rates if when I'm just doing the back testing. Look at ES yesterday. This is a I'm doing a 4x2. I didn't chart because that's after that's after 3 o'clock. So look at this: one, two, three, four. No signals at all here on this whole trend up, but five, six, right here, seven. This is 8 wins in a row, 9 wins in a row. Here's a loss, so 9-1, 10-1, 10-2. That was a long time of loss too. 10-1, 11-2, 12, 11-3, 12-3, 13-3, 13-4, 14-4, 15-4. Go. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I apologize. Actually, before before 7 o'clock last night, I went for 2.5 by 2 points. So that would those have been 3-1. So 14-4, 11-3. So I just there's no reason to say this doesn't work if I would be concentrating enough to keep getting into the trades, and I wouldn't second guess every trade. 11-3 on a 2-to-1 risk to reward. That's if I was trading around the clock and got all those trades, 11 times 4 points minus no, what did I do? Oh, I divided. 11 times 4 points minus 3 times 2. I bet you I can say I could have done that math. So 38 points of profit if I had done around the clock and just took those trades, and each point's $50, $1,900. So even today, I mean, this is today, 2.5 by 2 to start off, but this would have went to 4 points. This one would have failed. No. What was this? Yeah, one would have went. Two and a half. This would have been 2.5, 2.5, 5 points, 9 points, 13 points, and now this one. So yeah, I agree, and it definitely is. The whole reset thing, you know, in my opinion, it's the one good thing about Top Step. Top Step's hard, with its two-step evaluation and all that. But the fact that if you fail and you're willing to wait for your subscription to renew, you get that free reset. I think that's that's one of their big good things. So looking to see if there's anything else. Yeah, it's that Top Step's the only one that does that I know of. But I mean, there's the drawbacks to Top Step outweigh it. The two-part evaluation where you got to reach profit target twice. Just reaching it once is hard enough, and then you got to do it again under harder rules. I still believe that with the end of the day drawdown and stuff, that earn trade has the easiest eval. Yeah, they did. That was I mean, I kind of understand why they did that because it is easy to manipulate, but it just made it, it hurt the people that were legitimate scalpers and not trying to manipulate the system. So, okay, well, it's after 11 o'clock on the East Coast. It doesn't look like we're going to get anything really fun to do right now, so I think I'm going to end the stream. I am back here tomorrow morning, 7:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 my time, and hopefully we can get some more trades in and continue making that green go greener. Have a good evening, Lennox, and I'll see you either here. I know you say you have some weird sleeping patterns, so I probably won't see you in the morning, but see you. I'll be back Wednesday evening if you're here then. Have a great evening, everybody. See you soon. Bye.